Are we there? Are we there? All right, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's 1 o'clock. Welcome to your weekly dose of love and lunch with me, Joanna Keeble, and my lovely friend Jo Cooper, who's responsible for the tech side. I'm just kidding. Well, she is, but yeah, I'm taking the piss because I know you love it, Jo. Today we're going to tell you a couple of stories about sort of a notable change that happened for each of us in relationship to our jealousy via another woman. But first I'll tell you a bit about who the hell we are, right? So I'm Joanna Keeble. I'm a certified life coach and founder at bigbeautifulboundaries.com, and running a little Facebook group for people who want to get in touch with themselves a bit more and want to get a better idea of who they are and how they want to relate to other people, to have happy, healthy, satisfying, nourishing relationships, and maybe step off some of the old habits that aren't serving you so well. Over to you, Jo.
Beautiful, thank you. I'm Jo. I love tech. I am oh god, I think the internet's gone a bit funny. I'm a dating, sex and relationship coach, and I help women to reclaim their pleasure so they can identify exactly what they want and start to magnetize that within their relationship so they can have a fulfilling, beautiful, joyful, turned on life. So yeah, that's what I do. I've got a beautiful Facebook group which I'll post at the end of this live. That's for women. So yeah, really excited.
Really awesome
Subject, actually. It's been, yeah, I think one of been like the most fundamental learning processes and transformation during this journey, and also with the people that I coach as well around jealousy.
Yeah, I mean, my journey with jealousy has been really interesting, and good Lord, it's changed. My relationship to jealousy has changed so much, and it's something I'm really passionate about because I felt crippled by it in the past. I was so insecure when it came up. It really did hit my self-worth, and there's a couple of different facets to it. And one piece was about stuff, not getting the attention that I needed from my dad in childhood. And there's this other facet, which is some sort of disconnection from women. Now, I don't always feel like a woman. I'm not sure that I identify as a woman myself. At best, right now, I'm going to say, gender questioning or gender fluid. And maybe that's part of why I felt this disconnect from women or from womanhood. But what it was is, in past relationships, in my early romantic life, I sort of had this perception of this woman in my mind who was trying to get one over on me, who was going to, involve herself, get my man's attention as a way of slighting me. Like she might kiss him in my mind, right? She would kiss him or she would have sex with him to get one over on me, to get always with reference to me. And I would feel bad with this disconnect from this concept of this woman. And so, yeah, one of the places that started to change was in my sexploration of the world, in a sex positive community, learning to be really honest about our desires and actually dare to ask for what we really want. I had this experience of connecting with a man who was in a relationship. He was in an open relationship, and we had this really powerful attraction, and we really wanted to connect sexually. We wanted to explore that. And I found myself in the position of having a connected, grounded, open conversation with him and his partner, and a friend holding the space for grounding. And
that's relating like 3.0.
It was amazing. It's amazing. And in this situation, I'm the other woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that changed everything for me, because I knew where I was coming from, and I knew that I had no desire to insult this woman or take something from her. And I was there presenting myself to her and allowing her to see me while her partner expresses his desire to connect with me, because they were playing with a specific container where he would check with her and get her permission to connect with other people. And there was this moment where she's holding eye contact with me as she considers what her answer is. And this woman is amazing. I love this woman. She's really feeling into her body and what's true for her, and witnessing me. And it's kind of I don't know, embarrassing. Like, there's a place where I have to hold myself and not go into shame, and not believe that kind of gut reaction of like, I should run away or I should be ashamed of this desire I'm expressing. And there was this incredible feeling of connection where she's seeing me and I'm letting myself be seen, and she feels into it and says yes. And then throughout my connection with her partner, I stayed in connection with her. And we would actually have like, and she was in a different country, but we would actually have catch ups, check in, and just feel each other and know each other. And it was so, it was like cleaning up all of the stuff that wasn't necessary in that situation. All of the stuff that, you know, the concept of betrayal, or the concept of competition, really exploring all of that and sort of dissecting it and taking it apart. Wow, I can feel in my core right now. That was such a moment for me to see, to be the other woman, and to be able to be that in a way that felt connected and loving and clean, and to show up and be fully seen and say, hey, this is my desire, you know, and I love you, and I want to connect with you, and I want you to be okay. What do you need? Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I think the thing that you know, I think beautiful, really beautiful, and I think the thing that really kind of hits home to me about what you say is like, when you are willing to be seen in the present moment and ask for your desire, then all the kind of story of what we think may happen, or any type of judgment or whatever it is, in order to somehow like protect or go into this kind of illusionary state, it just like it comes down. And so like, just to be sat in that rawness of like not knowing, but this is my desire,
Yes.
and not knowing like how it's gonna go. And I think, you know, like that is a vulnerability of desire, and the potency and the rawness. It's just like, can I be willing to be honest with myself, share that, feel really confronted by it at times. I can actually sometimes get triggered by my own desire and be like, oh my
So
god.
much.
And where I've not come out all the way with my desire as well, and where I can slightly, oh, I don't want to say the full thing, just in case, I'm going to keep a little bit back, as like to protect and to be fully out with one's desire in any shape or form, whatever it looks like for different people. It's like, I'm going to come out, and I don't know if I'm going to be that, but really what I'm coming out for is myself. Can
Yeah.
I hold myself so much that I'm willing to just put myself out there, because that is the commitment I've made to myself and my own desire. And it's it's a
It's a
massive,
level of integrity.
like, yeah, exactly. Wow.
Yeah. So I just told that story, and then I got this like just tingles. It's really fun. So tell me, what's going on?
How's going on? A couple of things. I think the thing where I really noticed jealousy in, I'm just trying to think now. I mean, I've worked through jealousy in a couple of different spots, but I definitely feel like it worked me I got worked by it in an open relationship for sure.
Mm.
And I was in an open relationship, and it really brought up for me when, you know, a lot of women wanted to have makeouts with the man that I was dating at the time. And it really brought out that like childhood wound of like being a little girl and these children, these, you know, little girls around me taking things off me. And I, you know, even like this one woman, this little girl she was at the time, like swapped out apples because my apple was more juicy than hers. And
Wow.
honestly, it simple like, and it, you know, and there was things like my apples got taken off me, my pens were swapped for like dead ones, because I'm quite a geek with stationery. I like good pens to write with. And it's like, and I think one of the most things, because it actually scarred me, is like at school when I had this beautiful white knitted cardigan on that my grandma had, and it was the first time I worn it, and this girl just turned around and went bum with a pencil and like stabbed me in my arm, and it just, the blood went everywhere. And I was more upset about the cardigan and how much of like how much I love and appreciated what my grandma had knitted for me. And I was just like, oh, and it always felt like whatever I had, people wanted to take away from me. People wanted to take that away. So that kind of thing when I was little, thinking, I don't trust women. I don't trust women because whatever I have, they want to take it away. And so I think what really helped me in this open relationship in relation to other women was actually part of my journey was getting to know them, feeling their desire, really being willing for me to be seen and to see them really helped to dismantle that story and those wounds that I was still carrying from
Mm.
a child. And I think that was like huge for me to be able to see and feel them in their full desire and feel like, oh my God, like, can I trust that, you know, that they don't want to take my man and that they do want to just have an experience and that it doesn't need to mean X, Y, and Z. And can it be enough for them just to want to have a make out with him, you know? And I think, you know, there's that element as well. So it's, yeah, I think there's a lot in there, but it was definitely a place for me to explore and start to rewrite my relationship to sisters. And I think that was one of the things that it kind of started to change. So my relationship to sisterhood and to women started to change in that place. And I would say in this past year, like it is turned another 180, you know, where I share so vulnerably and feel so connected to women and the sisterhood that I've created that I don't feel threatened, but I feel alive. You know,
Mm.
I'm like the sisters that I'm surrounded by right now, I feel aliveness and a vibrancy. And this is the thing around like a magnetism, because I'm almost, you know, I'm not looking in the filter of a wound anymore. I'm like looking in the filter of like really understanding and knowing myself, giving myself and having a lot of compassion for what had happened, and to realize that that's not the story today.
Mm.
And I don't need to live through that story anymore. And I think that has been one of like, yeah, a huge shift for me in my relationship to like jealousy in women, and being able to see them for who they are and not the filter of a story that I'm still living out like however many years ago now. So yeah, it's been massive.
Mm. Yeah, I love it. As you're speaking, I'm feeling, I just felt into how I used to feel about women,
Mm,
because I used to feel like I was different and I had a problem with them. It was a, I've been writing about tropes of womanhood or femininity this morning, including the exception who says, I'm not like other women. or I'm not like all the other girls. And I've done that. I was that. And there's this kind of poo-pooing of all women. Like, then you know that you're sort of bullshitting everyone and yourself when it's the whole gender.
Totally. And I think there's something in that comment alone, especially when it comes to dating. If you were speaking to someone else and you're like, oh yeah, I'm not like other women, and it's just like, so basically you're then putting yourself on a pedestal thinking that you're somehow
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a pedestal aspect, but there's also the misogyny inherent in what you're saying. And so that's what I've realized as I was writing about these tropes, is that the exception, the trope of the exception, the woman who says, I'm not like the others, I mean, she's appealing to misogynistic men, to find the men who agree with her that women's personalities make them unappealing. So yeah, that yeah, and I used to be there. I just felt so uncomfortable with women generally, and it's been through exploring my sex and exploring connection with women, being seen, exactly what you're saying, being vulnerable, and fucking getting real. So we step away from the stereotypes and the bias in our minds and actually come into connection with the individual and see them beyond what we believe about their gender. So I used to have a very limited understanding of what women were like, or very skewed perception, and a pretty insulting one, to be honest. So yeah, there's a lot of disconnection there. There was another thought. I'm just going to feel and see if I can find it, and if not, I'll just let it go. We're both talking about situations that I think most people would want to avoid at all costs. And I noticed as you're talking that we're actually talking about what a fantastic opportunity they provided. It wasn't just something to get through, it allowed us to heal something. Those situations provided the crucible for the healing to occur. And we both got some freedom there that we desperately wanted, and got us closer to who we want to be, how we want to connect. That's what I want to say.
100%. And I think any situation where we feel discomfort, for me, it's a place to always lean in. It's like, wow, there's something here to learn about myself. There's something here to heal. And for me, part of the work every day is about leaning into the discomfort, because I know there's stuff there to look at.
It's interesting when you say lean in. Part of me feels like yes, and another part of me feels like, oh, I want to let people trust their guidance at the same time. So I think one distinction I would make, this is on my mind right now because this is all coming up in my course, is like, listen to what you want to listen to, take part in what you want to take part in. It's okay if it's edgy. It's okay if you don't know where your boundaries are sometimes, but you've got to sort of forgive yourself for going and having a go sometimes. And also you can, put things in place to make it feel safe. So you can lean in a way that keeps yourself intact. You don't have to railroad yourself. I think sometimes people conflate those two.
Definitely. And I think, yeah, just kind of bouncing off that a bit, it's like, we may not even always be ready, and I think it's like what you said around boundaries. It's actually okay to know that there's something there and to not necessarily go into it straight away. I think this is about keeping in range, keeping in what like you can hold. And it's perfect. Like, it's perfect where anybody is right at the moment on their journey with this as well.
But I love that invitation to not dismiss things out of hand just because they're scary. If they're scary, there's probably some freedom underneath, isn't it? So get curious. Don't throw it all away straight away. Yeah, beautiful. All right. I think that's good. What do you think?
It is. I've just got a loud hoover behind, so I'm just going to name that.
All right. No worries. So, yeah, I'm Joanna Keeble. I'm a certified life coach, offering one-to-one sessions right now. I've got an exciting new toolkit that I'm working with, including a set of powerful NLP practices that I'm having really positive feedback on and really impressive results with. So that's really exciting. And I also have an online course at bigbeautifulboundaries.com, and I'm finishing it right now. There's been a bit of a delay. I had to go into myself and chill out and like take some time. And now I'm ready to like come back out, and I'm finishing off the back end of this course. So yeah, really, really exciting stuff. I'll drop the link to my Facebook group below and hand you over to Jo to wrap up.
Awesome. So I have got a beautiful Facebook group called Empowering Women to Ignite Their Desires. I've got so many gorgeous queens in there. I just celebrated because I think I've got like 7 tutu queens at the moment.
It is getting pretty crazy.
I was just like, oh my God, like the buzz and the aliveness. And I think the thing that comes down to me is like, oh my gosh, like I can really be of service to these women. And so I feel really honored and glad, because I mean, this has been one of my life passions, is to be able to support and build communities. So yeah, I feel really stoked and happy about this. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a live masterclass this Friday in my group on Friday 7 p.m. So if you are around and you'd like to come into that, I'm going to be breaking down what I teach in my coaching program about how to magnetize everything that you want in your relationship. So that's going to be really exciting. So I'll drop the link below to that as well. And yeah, if you've got any questions that you want to reach out to me or Joanna about, then feel free. We're always happy here to connect with you lovelies. And if anything's evoked from this conversation today, then you can let us know, and we'll be happy to look at any questions that you may have next week. So
Definitely.
Yeah. All right then.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, see you lovelies all later. Bye now.
Have a good week.